Hey, do you ever watch a video on YouTube and you wonder about that recipe? Well, today we're going to do some Great Depression cooking. Clara, Great Depression Cooking with Clara on YouTube. She's passed on, but her wonderful recipes live on forever in the YouTube ionosphere. So let's try the poor man's meal. Now, I didn't write it down, I just watched it, and I might switch a few things around to make it more palatable for what I eat. So let's see what we've got here. I've got some onions, and I'm going to grab some butter. Oh, actually, she uses oil. I don't want to pour the oil in like she does because I'm trying to watch my weight, and the hot dogs she uses has an awful lot of fat in them already. I'm going to use 1 tablespoon of olive oil. And I'm going to kind of move it around in the onions to try to get that going. And I'm going to peel and chop up 4 potatoes. They're right there. Yeah. My kitchen's a little disabled today, guys, but that's me all over. I'll be back after I chop up yonder potatoes. There it is. Here's a close-up of what I have. So I put 1 tablespoon oil on the bottom of the pan, 1 whole large onion, 4 diced potatoes, and I happen to have an orange pepper that needed to be used, and so I included that in there. Now, I wanted to talk about Victory Gardens real quick. I was watching a little documentary on all of that sort of thing, you know, the Depression era and the men fighting in World War II. And the government encouraged people to grow vegetables, Victory Gardens. And so you might have had some green onions, scallion. You might have had some tomatoes. You might have had a few peppers or other vegetables that you could probably add into a meal. They had ration cards, and the best foods was sent overseas to our fighting military men. So things like coffee and sugar, meats were in short demand. Short supply, high demand, short supply, I would imagine. And so people had to use what they could get. So I figured if I had a pepper on hand, or carrots, or green beans, I probably would have cut that up and thrown that in too, if I was trying to feed a family on a tight budget during wartime. So now I'm going to turn this on and saute this. I guess she got it pretty brown. I don't know how 1 tablespoon oil is going to do with that front. Let's start it at 8 and see what we get. And we'll come back to this shortly. So now I'm trying to brown up the, I left it on at number 8, and I left it for 5 minutes so I could get a good browning underneath. And now I'm just going to keep moving it around because I don't want it to burn. It looks like it's browning up pretty good. I wanted to talk about the hot dogs that I'll be using, because the poor man's meal, they used hot dogs because that was the cheapest meat available. But you could use anything you had on hand, because thank God right now we're not in a depression, though that could change any month, couldn't it? I got the Publix Jumbo Uncured Beef Franks. I'm going to use 4 of these because she did. The calories in 1 hot dog is 170. Sodium, even though it's uncured, is 470. But Yeah, and then it has a bunch of stuff that you probably shouldn't eat. Uh-oh. So I'm going to cut these up next. I was just thinking I had celery in the fridge too. I could have just, you know, like if you had a victory garden, wouldn't zucchini have been nice in this? I think so. I have my hot dogs out, but I haven't cut them yet. And Clara used tomato sauce, but since I would have probably had a victory garden in that day, I'm going to use 3 fresh tomatoes. And I also have on my stove top some Mrs. Dash. I'm not going to use this because it has salt in it, and there's probably plenty of salt in the hot dog. She said don't add salt because of that, but because I have herbs, and in your victory garden you might have had herbs, or they may have had herbs, I'm going to add some. You know, I mean, Clara had a victory garden, and she says her neighbor tried to take her food out of her garden without asking. She brought a shopping bag over. Would you believe that? The audacity. Now, Clara cuts them really, really thin, and I can understand that because it was hard times, and you kind of would need to do that. Mine aren't going to be as thin as hers because this whole thing is going to be just for me, and I'm going to try to get 3 to 4 meals out of this. I get pretty hungry, guys, and, you know, 1 hot dog and 1 potato probably isn't going to do it for me. Maybe 1 1/4 hot dog and 1 1/2 potatoes would work better for me. Ow! Just burnt myself on the pan. Ouchie. But, yeah, here's what I have. Ow! I did it again. Well, I'm trying not to, you know, whatever. So that's my hot dogs cut up. And next I'm going to chop up some tomatoes. Okay, so I have 3 tomatoes here, and I cut the core out, but I'm not going to cut the bottoms out like they do on those, you know, next big chef cooking shows where they expect your tomatoes to be perfect in the dish and not have any seeds or anything else. Seeds are very good for you. You want to eat the seeds from your produce. And I'd imagine they wouldn't be throwing seeds out in those days. I certainly wouldn't have. Okay, here's some tomato here. Yeah, we're definitely going to need 3, I can tell already. And this is fun, just experimenting with this, right? I just thought to myself, oh, I want hot dogs for dinner. And then I thought about beforehand meal, because I was like, wow, I have 4 potatoes left from the old bag I need to use. I just bought a new bag. And I'll probably open that new bag up and put the potatoes in one of my fridge bins, because here in Florida, I gotta tell you, your potatoes don't last long. I can get about a week and a half before they start to either sprout or get bad spots. Because it's just so dang hot and humid. Even in air conditioning, it doesn't matter. Can't really leave things out in this state. And I'm just going around dicing where it isn't diced well enough, and, you know, just cutting it into little pieces. I like pieces I can, you know, bite into. I like a good bite, you know. Oh, I got tomato juice everywhere. All right. One thing I was thinking of adding was a little bit of sugar, but I think I'm going to, because, you know, tomato, real tomato, raw tomato can be very, very acidic. And I'm not going to be adding any salt, so I was thinking about maybe just adding a little bit of sugar to take down some of the acidity. Maybe just a touch. Okay. and then mixing that in. Because the last thing we're going to do, we're going to cook up these potatoes and such. I'm wondering if I should put the hot dogs in now. She kind of put it in last and then added water and then let it simmer. I guess that's what I'll do. I'm gonna disperse my doggies. Like so. Oh, and I've got cleanup. Oh my gosh. I got tomato juice everywhere. Oh, you know what else I had? I had a leftover bottle of tomato juice. I actually could have used that, but I'm going to assume a half a cup of water should be okay. But I don't really know because she just kind of like poured water in. Well, since we have fresh tomatoes, we won't do any more than that. She says it makes a nice sauce, and so now I'm going to wipe down my area and let that simmer a while. Wow, guys, that's like plenty of water. Look at all the broth. Can you see it? Let me see if I can show you. See, there's plenty of broth in there. Can you see all that nice juicy juiciness? I just stirred it good, and now I'm just letting it sit and, cook. I'm going to put it down to 3 at this point because it's boiling quite a bit, and I just kind of want it to simmer and all the seasonings to blend. I also am going to grab some more greens. I had one thing of greens, but I got another really big one. I'm going to sit down with some salad with olive oil and balsamic vinegar and salt and enjoy a salad before I enjoy my dinner. I have a ton of greens and I really need to use it. Let's check it one more time. Drain all that. Oh, wow. There's a lot of juice in it. Because I used fresh tomatoes, and peppers, I don't think I needed a half a cup of water. There's a lot of sauce in this. Wow. Do you see it all? Yeah, I think I'm going to see if the potato is soft enough. I would assume that's when it's done, when your potato is cooked. It's got a bite of potato. I think I'm going to do 5 more minutes. Five more minutes. It's not as salty as I thought it would be. I can detect sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, and I'm not feeling it. I want to try one of the pieces of hot dog and see how salty that is now that it's been kind of cooked in a broth. Wow. Yeah, it's salty. Oh yeah, it's salty. From start to finish, this took about 50 minutes. 50 minutes. And now I'm going to ladle it because it does have an awful lot of juice and I don't want to miss any of the splendidness of it all. So I'm going to take about... I haven't had lunch today, so I'm probably going to be relatively generous with my scooping. And I'd like a little extra juice on it. And I'm going to give it a try. I'd like to taste the onion and the potato first. Oh, it's hot. I mean the pepper and the potato. And there was some onion in there. I can feel it. I wish I could tell you how delicious it is, but you know that I have no sense of taste. And I am detecting flavor. And the saltiness of the hot dog is so nice. So the difference with mine and hers was Clara used a little bit of tomato sauce. I used fresh tomato. And I added a bell pepper. And it's very satisfying. Really nice textures. Your potatoes are going to take a while. Maybe like brown them and cook them longer than I cooked them. Like onions and potato and any other vegetable. Unless it's a real soft one like zucchini. You know, zucchini only 5 minutes. But this is it. It's delicious, and I'm going to finish it up. I ate my salad, and then I'm going to let this cool off and put it away. And there's at least 2 more meals for me. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Bye.